And welcome back to the second video of the series. On the previous videos, I left on a property of the MQ nodes. So I'm going and also I had some other nodes to it. I'm going to explain why. But before I explain that, let me explain the IBM MQ fully. So the IBM MQ, the MQ stands for the message queuing system. Let me put on a real life scenario. IBM MQ is like a post service. Let me bring it the software. This one is IBM MQ IBM Workspace MQ Explorer. So think them as like a post service, post office for a computer system. It ensure that message data get from one place to another reliable and securely, just like how later we get delivered from one place to another place. This software do the same thing, same concept like a post office does. And we have a queue manager. If you open the queue manager, we create one, we have a queues. If you go on a queues, we have a center who want to send message like on a post office. You want to send a message, they drop the message on the mailbox. Also we have a receiver. On the other hand, there is a receiver waiting to collect message. They check the mailbox and pick up the message they are just waiting for. And also it is a reliable delivery. IBM MQ makes sure that even if the center and receiver aren't always available at the same time, if there are a problem with the network or master, still get delivered securely and reliable. So also if you go on a queues and channel, this queue and channel to all the message until they pick up by the receiver. They also we use the channel to establish communication between the different system, ensure the message are transmit safely. Well, also if you come back and you come to and you will see a lot of transaction management, a lot of setting to it. You could apply different settings. So the IBM MQ managed transaction ensure the message are either delivered successful or returned to the center if there is a problem, or maintaining data integrity. We could pick the persistent and persistent. If the message is so important, we don't want to lose it, put a persistent. So if something happened to application, is not running, so the message will not be deleted or ignored. They will put it, they will keep loop back it, like keep doing it till it the application come to active back. So let's put it back. We have like a storage. You could pick it up backup, even backup queue for it. Like in case if there is the application never come back, they will put it on the backup queue. And similar, you could go even pick the dead letter queue to it. Just click on it and go on setting. On even you do the queue manager setting, you could go on there and do some setting right here, like go to extend, and you could pull the dead letter queue to it. In case there's a no backup queue, would come right here. So let's go back to our software. This right now I add two more input MQ, and also I put two output queues. And on each one, when you click on that, let's go on a one property. And if I go right here, and first option is a description. Right here we give them name, a short description. You could write anything you want about the name. You could give the long description about this queue. And below that there's a basic, it is a queue name. This is a very important. This one, any resource, any application, it could contact you through this name. They could send you the message through this name. You provide this name to them, they will send it to you. So, and we will ignore this option and will come to input parsing. What the input so the IBM MQ parsing option are the setting that help you to define how the message are understood and proceed by the IBM MQ to ensure the efficient and reliable communication between different systems. We could pick the any domain we want, like upstairs it is I just already picked XML and EC. You could pick JSON, you could pick MRM, you could pick like whatever the business required. The FDL as a custom format message, you could do that. And and this three option I will explain later on when it come. And also if you on a same like whatever domain you pick, whatever message format you pick, you have like a parser option, like a validation option. Like if something is wrong with our XML format, let's say tag is missing, so let's throw the exception. If something is missing, if the message is not in right format, we will put a message like through the exception on it. But we have on a parsing timing, we have like a three option. On demand, on demand is that validate. This is like a validation. The error wouldn't be cut, but the master flu would not report it, the error, and the master will only be pursued successfully up to the point where it is corrected. And also, if you come, there is a like a complete immediately, and complete. This is the most crucial value. The master will be fully pursue, purse, and all validation error will be identified. If there is a problem, the master will through an exception. And also we have a third option, the immediate. It is similar to complete parsing except on the case of a MRM domain. If that is the domain is MRM, everything on a message is parsed and validated except for the complex type with the composition of choice or and resolve with message. So it is that option we will explain it, especially that one APQ. So let's say if there's a big message or XML message you send it with a lot of name. If you don't wanna like some part you don't, let's say, let me bring this one. Let's clean up to this point. Let's say one is a note and the second is a L. If you don't want to proceed the second part, the L tag, you could just specify an APQ and this will not create it. They will ignore that one. So that's the APIC element. You could add it right here and then double click. I will show you how. But right now we will go to the below that they said advanced. On advanced we have a transaction. Transaction mode determine how message flow handle a message and transaction. So the first option is the first one usually is automatic, but right now for some reason I pick no, because I will tell you why. But let's start it with a yes. With a transaction move set to yes on the MQ input node, if the exception occurs, the original message received will be sent to the backup queue. If there's a no backup queue exists, it will go to a dead letter queue. If neither queue exists, it will loop endlessly, cause issue on the execution. So this is like working like a persistent. I already show you on a queue level. So you just click on one of the local queue, you come right here, there's a persistent. It works like a persistent. The message will not be lost. So the yeses work like that. And also we have a no. No back if like with the transaction mode set to no, any unhandled exception result on a loss of the original message received by the MQ input node. One thing I want to mention more, like even you put it NQ and you have a backup queue, dead letter queue or backup queue on a store, they will send it to your backup queue. So you will not lose it. So let not to pick for that one. So you will either send it to backup queue or dead letter queue. But still, if there's a no, let's say there's a no dead letter queue, then on that case they will not loop back it. You will lose it. So after that, they will not. If there's a no dead letter queue, it said there's no dead letter queue and no backup queue, then you will lose it. They will not retry it again. So that's the difference between yes and no. And we have automatic. We have the option automatic. The automatic is this one listening for the MQ node, like whatever queue we have on a property setting, whatever setting we give it right here, it will override from right here. It will pick it. If it's non-persistent, it work like a no. If it's persistent, then it work with like a yes. So just right now we pick as a no. And come back to the other is not that consider on that one. We're gonna we come to validation. A validation I will explain more, but right now I'll briefly tell you, because when we create the message set right here, then I'm gonna use that one most likely, because they check. So there's like a three option. None, this is the default setting when no validation is needed. And also we have a content, and content and value, and utilize for the validation both content and value. For instance, if the value is defined as an integer, it check if it is either to the specification there's integer or not. If it's not, they will throw the exception. Also they will check the like content for you, and content is same thing. So they will check the content, and if it's work. And if you pick usually pick content and value, then this option will be active. So they have like a many options right here. So the first one is an exception. It give only a first validation. I will explain you how what it mean like first validation. It give like we will send a lot of a big message. Uh, let's say this one. If I send that one and there's another tag to it, if this another tag to it, if there's a problem, let's say this one is missing and that one is missing, if you pick the exception, they only check out to this point, then they threw the message for you. They would not check the to the all of the message, all of the XML format. They check one, there's a one exception, right away they will send the exception. But if I pick like exception list, let's say exception list, the exception list, it give all the validation. So doesn't matter how many issue you have. Let's say you have it right here too, they check that one, that is good. They check that one that has a problem, there's a no hint backslash, then they threw one exception for that, and there's also one tag is missing, and that they check everything and give you all the exception. So let's go to another one. And user trace, this is a message flow will not show any failure on the, in this case error can be seen on the user trace file. So we will use the user trace. We need it is by default is an active. We're gonna activate it. I will show you how. And what is a local error log? So this local error log, the master flow will not this when you pick a local error log, the message, the any issue like any exception happen, it will show it right here. You could go right here and check it out if there's any if you pick that one, any exception would be appear on this one. So let me go with so we didn't pick anything, and the other option we just ignore it. I will explain how the monitoring is work. I will create a separate video for that. And if you come on the output queue, receiver queue, output queue, any queue, you just click on that. This also has a property. This property has all same description, basic, and we ignore that one, advanced, and it has a destination mode. This well, like destination mode, when this is on, like whatever name you give it on this receiver or the queue, they will receive it on that name. That when you click on that and go to property, we give them that receiver queue, then they would receive the message on that. If you go back to advanced, we have a replay queue. Replay queue, read the message to the replay queue, file it on the MQMD header. You could write it through the I will show you how when we're writing a code, but right now we're not using any transmission compute node or ESQL node. So to write it, either also you could do the or if util when you have, let me bring it up, or if util, and also there's a has a MQMD header. You could put it right here. replay to queue. When you put right here any queue replay to queue and create your queue on a MQ Explorer right here, or if queue, it will replay to this one instead of the this queue that we like the queue that we put it right here to this queue name. I will replay to the replay queue. And if you come to uh, advanced and you click, we have a destination list. This will write a message to the list of queue providing on the local environment tree and transaction mode. So this one also I will show you how you use it. If you pick that one, you could connect different terminal. This is terminal. This terminal. Just connect different terminal to that. Not only to this one. You need to put the I'm not gonna explain the code right now. I will explain it on the second video because right now let me even show you how the code works, but we're not gonna run it. So right now if you click on that, this is the code. You just say set apu local environment dot destination dot mq dot destination. You give them error list and the queue name, then specify what queue you wanna to deliver, and also like to you just keep doing that. You just have a one different, you keep adding 1 2 3 4 5 to how many queue you wanna send it. One more thing you wanna do on the same thing right here, you come to property and you come to a message, you pick the local environment and message because we use local environment. That's why we pick local environment and message. So that way we could right now we could send it to how many you wanted. You could connect to the second one. You could connect to another one. You could send it right here, right here, right here from one queues. Any message come right here. They will check the setting, what type of code we write on the local environment, and they will direct you to the queue you wanted. So it is like that. Let's let's go back to the receiver property. We double click if anything is missing. Destination mode, and we have a transaction mode. What transaction mode does, how you say that? Said when is yes, in this mode the operation are only committed if the transaction is complete successfully. If there is an exception, the transaction is rolled back and operation returned to their original state. So what does that mean? Like let's say I wanna, like right now they say only return true. I wanna use, let's say I wanna say propagate to terminal 1 and propagate to terminal 2. Like you keep giving how many terminal you want to propagate it. We already commented that. So let's say if I want to send message to terminal 1, if I want to send to terminal 1, let's say right here, first they will send the message. I will show you how they will send a message to the terminal 1 to the receiver queue, but they will not place the message. It will not place the message to receiver until the transaction is complete. They will also send it to the to terminal 2. Once both of them is complete, they send it right here and right here. Then you will see the message is received by receiver and on the another queue that you specify. So if transaction mode is no, so it doesn't matter, it's yes, it doesn't matter is the transaction is complete or not, they will put a message on it. And that one, the automatic works similar as a persistent and non-persistent. They will read it from the automatic will read it to the input queue. So when you come back, To request, we will ignore that. And validation, same thing. Content and value and inheritance and those stuff, and we will ignore, and I will tell you what is monitoring. So basically that was all the option that was right here. Let me check one for you and delete some of them. Let's say, let's deploy that if even that's working or not. Say deploy. If there's any issue, they will. So it's get deploy. Now we want to send a message to this one. It's a NQ1, and you will, because this has a on demand, and also let's pick, because I don't want a persistent. I want to, let's say I want advanced, I want transaction no, and option I want immediate. So they will throw the exception immediately, but they will, it will not persistently. So if there's a not, if it's the exception is not connected, this one is not connected, they will put it to dead letter queue. But right now is exception, they will send it to exception. Let's save it, and once again deploy it, and bring the RHPTL and load it, because I already know this. This is the wrong message format. Let's pick it up. There was, what was it? This was MQ1, yes. Yeah, there's a input Q1. So wanna send them, check the data. We have the data. We, let's say if there's a problem, we will see it. Yeah, there is a problem. It's a problem with data pair, and we just go back to click. We want a problem to that. That's why. Now we come back to our local queue, because we create the NQ1 and NQ2, and we have exception. This is one. I didn't refresh it yet. And when you refresh it, either that would go to dead letter queue. Dead letter queue is a 10 right now, or backup queue, or exception, because they had the issue with it. You see, now we have exception one. Listen, one more. Let's send to, so we'll see it. You see, now we have a 3 exception. Right? If this is a not connect, exception is not connected, then they will put it to the dead letter queue. To the if this has a backup queue, they will put in a backup queue. Since it don't have it, then they will put it to dead letter queue. If this one is not exist and dead letter queue is not exist and exception is not exist, so because transaction is no, then you simply lost it. But if transaction is yes, and you have a backup queue, then they will put it on a backup queue. Your transaction is yes. If you have a dead letter, if you don't have a backup queue, you have a dead letter queue, you will put it right here. If the exception is connected, they will put it on the exception. But if the all 3 of them is not exist, then you're not gonna lose the message. They will loop back it infinitely. So that will cause the issue. Don't do that. So make sure you have a setting that the transaction management correctly. So if you want to pick the thing, the second video I will go on a ESQL complete program. I will show what is the ESQL stand for and what is it. So see you on the third video. Thank you.